Avengers Endgame has opened in cinemas across the globe, and while the film works as a grand conclusion to the 22 films of the MCU so far, the franchise will continue forward in brave new ways. And just as all MCU films past, Endgame leaves us hanging on a thread with a number of post-credit scenes. Before we get into this, I have to issue an enormous spoiler warning. It should be obvious, but if you haven't watched the movie, turn this video off right now. What are you doing here? That said, this video obviously does not aim to spoil the movie for those who haven't seen it, but rather offer a commentary for those who have. So don't get annoyed with me for uploading this so early, okay? Alright, final warning, let's get into it. Okay, so those of you who are still with me, yeah, that opening was just a total psych out for those who haven't seen the movie. And to be honest, I had prepared that opening before I'd even seen the movie, and didn't want all that gosh darned hard work to go to waste. Those of us who have seen the movie know that there are no post-credit scenes in Avengers Endgame, which marks a first in MCU history. So I thought that with this video I'd talk a little bit about why the movie doesn't offer us any, and whether I think that's a good thing or not. I mean, it seems pretty obvious for those of us diehards, but for the more casual viewer, it might be a little bit perplexing. Now, I'm planning on putting together another video where I go in depth on the ending of this movie, I break it all down, and I talk about what I think it means for the future of the MCU. So I'm not going to go incredibly in depth on this one, but we are going to touch on just a couple of little things here. As everyone's been saying, Endgame is the grand conclusion to 11 years of filmmaking and a total of 22 movies. The movie aims to wrap up decade-old story arcs with a nice little bow and put a fairly sizable full stop on the so-called Infinity Saga. And to me, the ending of the movie was absolutely perfect. We say goodbye to some old friends and we usher some into new chapters. The entire point of post-credit scenes, for the most part, is to give us a little teaser for the future, or in some cases offer a small little sight gag that somehow ties into the movie that we've just watched. And thing is, pretty much every MCU movie to this point has concluded with an open ending, leaving us with plenty of questions about what's to come next. The post-credit scenes then also give us a more cryptic teaser into the MCU future. With the way this movie ends, a post-credit scene just doesn't need to be there, and I'm really glad that there wasn't any. The movie closes on such a note that it is incredibly satisfying. It's nice and rounded, and again puts a massive full stop on the character arcs we've followed for 11 years. The folk at Marvel have worked really hard at making this the perfect ending to the saga, and it most definitely is. It's a beautiful ending that works on so many levels. By essentially reopening the closed narrative of this saga, even with a 30-second stinger at the end for something like, you know, Spider-Man Far From Home, I believe would be to the complete detriment of the movie, the franchise, and to the entire experience, as would some kind of little gag at the end. It would have been even worse. Imagine a 30-second gag of Korg playing Fortnite. It would just end the movie and the entire saga on such a weird note. No, the MCU isn't coming to a total end. We know this for a fact. We will have more films and long-form series going forward, but the total fabric of the MCU is going to be completely different in the future. And whatever teasers we get to the upcoming Marvel media really is given to us in the film itself. We've got Thor joining the Guardians, we've got Sam Wilson pegged to be the next Captain America, and we've got Valkyrie as Queen of Asgard, amongst so many other things. To me, these are the kind of teasers or revelations that would have been left for post-credit scenes in the past, but are instead offered in the film itself. So there's quite simply nothing left to tease. In effect, this movie ends with the death of Tony Stark, and everything that follows is an epilogue of sorts, standing in for the post-credit scenes of the past. There was quite simply no need for one. The movie ended on the absolute perfect note. Instead of post-credits though, we do get an absolutely incredible roll call of all the important players in the MCU so far, and I think it was just the perfect way not only to round out the film, but to show the respects and give thanks to all the incredible performers who have lent their talent to this franchise. And for those of us who did wait until the very end, hearing those metallic clanks was a nice little throwback to the very first Iron Man, ending us with an audible reminder of where it all began, and finally, completely bookending the story of Tony Stark. The Infinity Saga begins with Stark, and quite literally ends with him too. Once again, I will be breaking down the ending of this movie in detail and discussing what I think it means for the future of the MCU in another video, so stay tuned for that one. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, you like what you've seen, you'd like to see more like this in the future, then please don't forget to hit that big old subscribe button up on your screen right now, and also hit that like button down below if you're feeling extra generous. Also, don't forget to check out my many social media accounts, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day.